Welcome to the Strategic Command. Today we're diving into a pivotal moment in Middle Eastern military strategy: Israel's recent, highly coordinated strike on Iranian military assets. This operation was not merely a response to recent provocations but a message intended to resonate throughout the region and beyond. Through a closer examination, we'll unpack the historical context, tactical execution, and potential ripple effects that this strike is likely to have, influencing military and geopolitical landscapes across the globe. Historical tensions and strategic motivations. The complex rivalry between Israel and Iran is more than just a regional dispute. It's a clash of ideologies, geopolitical strategies, and military ambitions that have shaped Middle Eastern politics for decades. Since the Iranian Revolution in 1979, Iran has established itself as an adversary to Western-aligned nations, including Israel, which it views as an extension of U.S. influence. Over time, Iran's support for groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon and various militias in Iraq and Syria has strengthened its influence, presenting Israel with indirect yet persistent threats on multiple fronts. In recent years, Iran's expanding missile program and nuclear ambitions have intensified Israeli concerns. Iran's advancements in missile technology, coupled with its support for proxy forces in neighboring regions, have positioned it as a formidable adversary, sparking frequent and often severe responses from Israel. This backdrop of ideological enmity and military competition set the stage for the latest escalation, as Israel once again asserted its readiness to counter any perceived threat to its security. The trigger: Iran's missile provocation. The latest chapter in this unfolding rivalry began with a series of missile launches by Iran into Israeli territory in early October, a bold move by Iran that escalated already heightened tensions. Viewing this as an unacceptable threat, Israel's response came swiftly and decisively. Yet, rather than merely retaliate in kind, Israel opted for a meticulously planned operation aimed at crippling Iran's military infrastructure and sending a clear signal: further aggression would be met with overwhelming force. In this context, Israel's recent actions were not simply a reaction. They were a calculated move designed to neutralize critical components of Iran's defense and deter future provocations. This multi-layered response underscores Israel's proactive approach to its defense strategy, using precision strikes to dismantle Iran's operational capabilities while limiting the risk of wider conflict. Primary target: the S-300 air defense system. A central focus of Israel's operation was the neutralization of Iran's S-300 air defense systems, supplied by Russia. The S-300 is a high-performance, long-range defense system capable of intercepting both missiles and aircraft. While effective, it's a system with limitations rooted in its Cold War-era design, having been first developed in the 1970s. Over time, the S-300 has been upgraded, and Iran's PMU-2 variant represents one of the more advanced versions. Nonetheless, it remains vulnerable to certain tactics and technologies that Israel has studied extensively. In fact, Israel's military has been preparing for this moment for years. Through training exercises with Greece, another operator of the S-300, Israeli forces have refined specific strategies to counter this system. These exercises were instrumental in the success of Israel's recent operation, enabling its pilots and strategists to identify and exploit the system's vulnerabilities. The results were swift and telling. Israel reported that it successfully disabled all 3 operational S-300 units within Iranian territory. This achievement represents a severe blow to Iran's air defense network, effectively stripping away a critical layer of its protective shield. Without these defenses, Iran now faces an increased vulnerability to airstrikes, raising the stakes for any future escalation. Expanding the offensive, targeting strategic infrastructure. The operation extended well beyond air defense systems, encompassing multiple strategic assets across Iran. Israeli strikes targeted sites integral to Iran's missile production capabilities, energy infrastructure, and military logistics. This broader approach reflects Israel's understanding that dismantling Iran's military potential requires undermining its industrial backbone, not merely disrupting its immediate defenses. Among the most significant targets was the Shahid missile complex, a facility critical to Iran's development of short and medium-range ballistic missiles. The complex represents a cornerstone of Iran's missile program, and its impairment limits Iran's ability to manufacture and deploy these weapons on a large scale. In addition to military targets, Israel also struck energy infrastructure, including the Abadan refinery, one of the largest in Iran and strategically located near the Persian Gulf. By targeting facilities such as this, Israel aimed to weaken the economic resources that support Iran's military activities. These energy complexes, like the Bandar Imam Khomeini facility, are essential for sustaining Iran's industrial base and generating revenue that funds its military operations. The cumulative effect of these strikes extends beyond immediate military impact, dealing a long-term economic blow that could inhibit Iran's capacity for regional influence. The broader geopolitical context. The effects of Israel's recent actions resonate across a complex web of alliances and conflicts. Iran's support for Hezbollah, Houthi militants, and other regional forces has enabled it to project power indirectly, using proxies to apply pressure on Israel and its allies. By targeting Iranian facilities that supply weapons and funds to these groups, Israel is disrupting the supply lines that sustain Iran's regional influence. The impact of this operation also extends to Russia. Russia's reliance on Iranian drones and missiles for its campaign in Ukraine makes it a secondary, albeit indirect, stakeholder in this conflict. With Iran's production capabilities temporarily hindered, Russia may face challenges in maintaining its supply of these weapons, adding an unexpected dimension to the geopolitical implications of Israel's strike. The tactical sophistication of Israel's operation. The operation was marked by an impressive level of tactical precision, showcasing Israel's ability to conduct highly complex missions with minimal risk. Reports indicate that Israel deployed over 100 fighter jets, executing a coordinated assault that overwhelmed Iran's defenses. The timing and scale of the operation were carefully calibrated to maximize impact, with Israel potentially using cyber warfare to further compromise Iran's defensive capabilities. This layered approach, combining air power, electronic warfare, and cyber attacks, illustrates Israel's commitment to integrated defense strategies. By deploying multiple attack vectors, Israel was able to disable key targets while limiting the risk of direct confrontation, showcasing a level of operational sophistication that serves as a warning to Iran and other adversaries in the region. Strategic restraint: why nuclear sites were spared. In an intriguing display of restraint, Israel reportedly avoided striking Iran's nuclear research facilities. This decision may reflect a strategic calculation aimed at avoiding a wider escalation that could draw in global powers. Both the United States and Russia have a vested interest in preventing an all-out conflict in the Middle East, and targeting nuclear sites could have triggered reactions from these and other international stakeholders. By sparing these facilities, Israel demonstrated that while it is prepared to act decisively, it is also mindful of the broader geopolitical landscape. Stay tuned for the speech by Mark Rutte.
Good morning. This morning, a delegation from the Republic of Korea, a close NATO partner, briefed the North Atlantic Council and our other Indo-Pacific partners, Australia, Japan, and New Zealand, on North Korea's growing involvement in Russia's illegal war of aggression against Ukraine. The delegation included senior representatives from the Republic of Korea's National Intelligence Service and Ministry of National Defense. Allies also shared their intelligence assessments. Today, I can confirm that North Korean troops have been sent to Russia and that North Korean military units have been deployed to the Kursk region. The deployment of North Korean troops represents one, a significant escalation in the DPRK's ongoing involvement in Russia's illegal war. Two, yet another breach of UN Security Council resolutions. And three, a dangerous expansion of Russia's war. NATO calls on Russia and the DPRK to cease these actions immediately. The deepening military cooperation between Russia and North Korea is a threat to both the Indo-Pacific and Euro-Atlantic security. It undermines peace on the Korean peninsula and fuels the Russian war against Ukraine. Pyongyang has already supplied Russia with millions of rounds of ammunition and ballistic missiles that are fueling a major conflict in the heart of Europe and undermining global peace and security. In exchange, Putin is providing North Korea with military technology and other support to circumvent international sanctions. This underlines the importance of democracy, standing together to uphold our values and to face our shared security challenges. But the deployment of North Korean troops to Kursk is also a sign of Putin's growing desperation. Over 600,000 Russian soldiers have been killed or wounded in Putin's war, and he is unable to sustain his assault on Ukraine without foreign support. This is because the Ukrainians are fighting back with courage, resilience and ingenuity. NATO allies will continue to support a free and democratic Ukraine, because Ukraine's security is our security. Today we discussed the need to further strengthen military support to Ukraine. We are actively consulting within the alliance, with Ukraine and with our Indo-Pacific partners on these developments. And we continue to monitor the situation closely. Later today, I have scheduled calls with President Yoon of the Republic of Korea and with Defense Minister Umerov of Ukraine. Thank you. This is what I wanted to share with you this morning.